shaping this behavior with some food, just getting that dog used to chasing after something and calling off of something, you know, almost equally, right? Because we want to see the dogs go out fast and come back fast. And then we're going to take a few dogs through transitional steps of doing it with food, doing it with a toy, a method where we're going to show you two helpers or a handler and helper with like equal items, and then kind of the finished picture. And so I'm gonna feed the dog, and I'm gonna start backing up, and then when I turn it off, I'm gonna kind of shut the food off, and Teresa's gonna call him back to her, and she's gonna have food. Good. Turn it off.
Call.
Then pull.
Yes.
And then she's gonna feed. And then I'm gonna come in, and I'm gonna feed. And then I turn it off.
Call. Yes.
And she's gonna feed. And then I turn it off.
Call.
And I turn it off.
Call.
Good. I need a little more. A little more. Holy cow.
Call.
Good, let's go this way.
Call.
Good job.
Call. Yeah, good boy.
One more.
Call. Yeah,
I got a couple
good.
more. I got 2 more pieces.
Yay, good boy. Good.
Right?
Good
Wipe
boy.
them on the puppy.
Good boy.
Both. Yep, we'll
So
do
now
both.
we're going to show you, if they get a little older, how to do it with a toy. Sit. Sit. There's a million ways to do it. Go! Okay.
So now he's going out chasing the ball, and now she can get him with a call off when he's not thinking about it. Maybe a little bit deeper and closer to that ball, since the dog obviously already knows his behavior.
Go! Cat! Moose!
And now she'll have him come back into heel as he would,
Go!
and then letting him go out and get the ball.
Come on.
You may, depending on your dog, if they're very antsy, and now like mine will start to pound and just want to go forward, and he'll come back and he'll start shortchanging me on that heel position, stopping, you know, a foot ahead of me and then 3 feet ahead of me, right? Anticipating going back out for that ball. So I'll often produce a second reward and reward him in place. Her dog is much more steady in that heel position, so she can release him forward to that ball more often, and do this with 1 reward.
I'm going to just give him one more go.
You want me to do one where I hold it?
Am I calling him off it?
Let him get it once and then call him off it?
All right. Sit. No. Sit.
You have help
Sit.
that can hold the ball for you.
Go!
Yeah, like to trust the dog enough to hear.
Away.
Wouldn't appreciate it.
Drop.
Go! Cat! I just made sure he was going to do it. Let's.
We couldn't tell.
Couple other things, like if your dog starts to go out and on that turnaround they're really turning and making a big parade loop kind of thing, you can do this alongside a wall, or put out, like we have like snow fencing we'll use sometimes to turn the dog or make a shoot, right? So they have to go out fast, straight, and make a tight turn and come back, you know, relatively, right? Because some will start to do a big old victory lap as they're coming back, you know, maybe they're going wide and kind of looking back, right? Now you can turn your dog a little bit tighter. Another reason we like to start these in like a hallway of a building. One for that easy manipulation of a fast dog on like a slippery floor, and then also it creates that tighter turn as they're coming back.
And it's only one command, the name, or
It's cat, and then when he gets close, foos.
You're allowed a heel command.
but you couldn't say like.
Is employ the use of 2 helpers. So I'll just put them on a short bite on Tim, and then when I call him back, I'll have Jeremy right on my heel side, right? So again, that dog is turning around and always looking to that heel side of the handler, and then he's going to simply draw the dog on a little backup and catch my dog. So now he's going to think there's the possibility sometimes of coming back and getting that equal bite behind me, right? This may be where if your dog's a bit older and has done, you know, how many long bites, you might have to start here with 2 helpers to show your dog that there is a equal reason to come back and come back to you fast, right? And then you can step back a little bit, move him further from me, and do a delayed gratification. So dog, heel, and then give them a bite, right? And sometimes then when they've got both of those pictures of coming back and getting that reward, coming back, stopping with you and getting to go and get that second bite, we may bring that first bite to them. So I call him off of Tim and he comes back into heel. Tim can come up and reward him right there. Like I said, my Malinois are a lot more antsy, right? So I do a lot of bringing that reward to the dog instead of releasing him again. Because like I said, they'll start to shortchange me on that heel position and stop right out there, right? So we'll show a little bit of that. We'll just do a couple.
Do you want a whip in the back? You, Ben? I don't know how you guys usually do it.
You could just stay quiet for now. I haven't really built up to too much like agitation level.
Okay.
As you can see, he brings his own level of drive. Punch! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Because I really want to bite him.
Let's.
And
Let's.
keep him on the ground as possible.
Just wanted to make sure it was there.
Legan. So I'll do a.
You don't want me
That's a
having
good name. I like the name.
It's fine. Yeah. Maybe the last time he bites. Legan. I'll send him for a bite on you. Punch. Nope. Sit. Buff. Good. Punchy. Let's. Thank you. Regan. And then I'll bring him, I'll do call off to heel, and then do that turn and send on Jeremy. Come here, come here. Sit.
Yeah, I'm so kind of
Punch! Come back. Bust. Hey! Good show. And then here, lay down. Lay down. You're obviously, I'm still working on leash. Plus, I won't have him share everything. Plus, progressing to where you're, getting on a more of a electric correction and working your dog further out, and then working through variables of calling your dog off early, medium, deeper, right? Getting them closer. As they get more momentum towards that decoy, or helper, you're going to have a harder time turning your dog, obviously, right? So as you change those, variables, you may need to employ some other help and give your dog something to come back to if they're doing it at 50 yards and turning around right close to that helper. they have a long way to come back to you, and you still want that fast. So you might, have someone hidden, and they jump out at the last second to get you that last little speed burst at the end coming back, right? There's lots of ways that you can do this and employ the use. If you're, able, right, I'll often just hold this one, call him back, and reward him myself, right? I don't really need the other helper because I'm able to, catch and, work my dog myself that way.
Do it.
Another call up. Mark. Punch! And I like pushing. Push. Begin. I'll do a guard and then just give him a bite and I'll take him out. Okay. Zukaman. That's good.
Hey.
Bust.
Hey.
So that's why I can't order Malinois. Because I can't make those sounds.
You're getting pretty good at
No, I can only do it when I really think about it. Otherwise it comes out like...
Vegan. So I'll just do that same picture and I'll call him back and give him that bite on Jeremy. Come back. Mark. Punch! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Punch doesn't sound right.
Okay, you ready? Help her step out.
Hard.
Turn.
Hard. Run the food.